On September 3rd, 1964, 50 years ago this Wednesday, President Lyndon Johnson signed the landmark Wilderness Act. LBJ described its purpose this way.
The two bills that I'm signing this morning are in the highest tradition of our heritage as conservators as well as users of America's bountiful natural endowments.
The act set aside more than 9 million acres of land to be protected from development. Today, that has grown to almost 110 million acres across the West, from Washington state to New Mexico, on points north, east, and south. Jamie Williams is president of the Wilderness Society. Jamie, good morning.
Good morning.
This legislation, I was surprised to read, was somewhat difficult to pass. 8 years, 66 revisions. Why was it so historic?
Well, this was really a defining moment for our country, where we decided to balance a rapidly developing country with the notion that we would leave some places alone, that we would protect our wildest places that have shaped our character as a nation and that are so vital to us today.
How do you define a wilderness, a wild place?
Well, to me, a wilderness is a wild place for nature to thrive and for people to enjoy. You know, the nation's first wilderness, the Gila Wilderness, was established as early as 1924 in New Mexico, when a young forester by the name of Aldo Leopold encouraged the foresters to set it aside to protect it from a road. And it was that notion of protecting roadless areas free of all human development, for nature to thrive on its own terms and for people to enjoy. That was the spirit with which the Wilderness Act was written.
We're looking at such incredible images. It's hard to think anyone would want to develop in these areas. Is it hard at this point, though, if you want to make a stretch of land a wilderness area, if you want it to be protected and have that designation, is it hard to make that happen?
Well, it is hard, but it's amazing how much Americans love these places. It's Americans that decide what lands we will protect, because it requires an act of Congress to add a new wilderness area. And people from all over America have stood up to rally for the protection of the places they love most. So it takes time, but
it takes like 8 to 10 years,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely, but anything in Congress takes time.
Especially now.
Exactly.
Well, significantly, in the past year, this is the first time in a long time we haven't had any wilderness areas declared, correct?
Well, the Sleeping Bear Dunes in Michigan actually was just declared in March of this year.
It was, okay. But is it becoming more difficult with this Congress as combative as it's been?
It is becoming more difficult, but we really have to take the long view. You know, most wilderness bills take 8 to 10 years to pass, and if you look at the history of the Wilderness Act over the last 50 years, we've gone from 9 million acres to 109 million acres across 44 states, because citizens have taken that long view and stood up. So 10 years is a short time to leave an incredible legacy for future generations.
How does climate change affect some of these protected areas?
Well, climate change presents an enormous challenge for us, of course. We've always known that wildlife need room to roam, but now they really need a lot of room to roam as the habitat literally shifts out from under their feet. So wilderness areas are really important havens for wildlife, but we need to protect bigger areas if wildlife are going to have a chance to adapt to a warming world. And wilderness anchors some of our best opportunities to protect these bigger places.
50th anniversary of the Wilderness Act. Jamie Williams, thank you so much for being here today.
And thank you.